Thank you everyone for attending my speech here. I want to be able to convince you guys to attend the water board meetings in your local water authority. So, thinking about pouring a bucket of water in your tub, would you cleanse yourself in it? Or how about using that same water to cook food with? I didn't think so. Today I want you to ask yourself, how safe is our tap water? Also ask yourself, how many times throughout the year do you take water samples from home to a testing facility? Today's water reports inaccurately describe our groundwater and our sustaining water systems in detail because of affecting factors that are not listed on the analysis. For one, there are conditions in the environment caused by natural mechanisms that pollute our groundwater. Another cause is from nearby underground oil and gas units, and also because we live in Texas, the use of fertilizers alone remain to be unchallenged. Here in Jasper, we have been plagued by a few number of natural disasters, from hurricanes to flash flooding, that affect our local aquifers. In recent years, the Jasper aquifer alone has experienced water level changes. As stated in a report by Mark Kasmerick, water level changes for the year 2012 in the Jasper aquifer range from 36 feet below to 87 feet above. You can guess correctly that we have accumulated a great deal of water during that year. Those numbers alone should give you a better idea, if not warn you, and imagine the debris-informed material that is intermixed in our water systems. You can remember seeing in the news the amount of floating material washing past by abandoned neighborhoods when water levels were above flood stage. Speaking of floods, how about when water seeps into your gas and oil tanks that are below ground? A story in North Carolina was talking about how a couple was forced to live nearby unhealthy conditions due to the fact from a nearby underground storage tank. A reporter named Alex Wayne said in March 10th of 2000 for the Greensboro News and Record, reported stating in his sentence, the people who live next door, Louis and Nancy Pretty, wrote letters to several state officials on March 4th alleging that a leaking fuel tank at the city-owned house underground was contaminated and housed drinking water well and monitored the monitoring well at the landfill. These are kinds of stories that hit close to home and are reported so often. Question: when you get hungry, which fruits and vegetables do you pick out the grocery store? We cannot eat them unless we grow them first. So the majority of U.S. farmlands use fertilizers that contain nitrates to help grow crops in order to ship them to local markets. However, the dumping of waste that contains large amounts of nitrates can have a serious side effect to the underground water supply. In July 6 of the year 2003, the Associated Press released an article titled, "Green Firm May Be Source of Water Tank," subtitled, "Regulators Find Plume of Nitrates in Groundwater," in which a foreign company sprayed wastewater that contained nitrates that was disposed in past years. That being said, keep in mind that the company followed strict guidelines and obtained state and federal permits to handle and spray the liquid material on their own plot of land. But because surface water trickles down the springs or is absorbed through the ground, it still makes out water sources unsafe for humans and wildlife. And if that doesn't get your attention, think about the poor residents in Flint, Michigan in recent years that had to endure many years of pain and suffering due to the negligence of negligence of local and state water authorities. This one story grasped my attention that I wish to share quickly, that was told in 2018 by Nakia Wakes for the Anglican Theological Review in the wake of the Flint water crisis. Her story stating, starting a couple years back, remembering how she noticed the gradual changes in herself and her immediate family's well-being from drinking the water that was contained by large concentrations of lead. How power players in the local and state government downplayed the growing epidemic of water-related illnesses and the serious side effects that caused harm to herself, not only to herself, but also to her children as well. I'm just not talking about everyday food poisoning affairs. I'm talking about her and her family experiencing small things from hair loss to large things, being diagnosed serious chronic illnesses such as cancer, all of which stem from the use of their local tap water and not just by drinking it. These are some outside factors that you should make aware of of how our groundwater should be monitored and tested with profound proficiency and guidance, let alone leaving our local officials to handle our water usage without holding them accountable. Try to reach out to your local water authority, which is the Sabine River Authority of Texas, and get an idea of how you can make a difference in you and your family's life of being also involved in the water board meetings. Also, obtain a recent copy of the monthly quality report that they issue. The latest was in April of this year. Having some common sense knowledge of where your water comes from, how it's processed and distributed, can help enhance our quality of life. As the song goes, this land belongs to you and me.